Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're jumping right into the launch of Celebrity Cruises' newest ship, the Xcel. Now, this ship has been hyped up like you wouldn't believe, but some of the very first people to sail on it are telling a very different story. So is it the game-changing upgrade we were promised or a bit of a step in the wrong direction? Let's dig into the reviews and find out. So, just to set the stage here, the Xcel is the fifth ship in Celebrity's Edge series. And that series has been a massive, massive hit. So you can imagine the expectations were absolutely sky high. Celebrity's whole pitch was that they were going to take everything that made the other ships great and just elevate the whole experience. And right out of the gate, you saw reviews like this one, just absolutely glowing. A perfect 5 out of 5. This expert said the ship kept all the best parts of its sisters, but managed to totally transform the experience in a really good way. But then, almost at the same time, this story starts to emerge. This is a super detailed review from a seasoned cruiser who was on one of the very first sailings, and they came to the exact opposite conclusion. They called the ship a step backward. Ouch. So, which one is it? Is this a revolutionary new ship that's setting the tone for the future, or is it a really expensive disappointment that just kind of missed the mark? To figure that out, we're going to put these two very different experiences right next to each other, and we'll start with the biggest changes on the ship itself. Okay, let's talk about the spaces, because you can't miss the biggest change here. Celebrity took out the beloved, pretty chill Eden space and replaced it with this massive 3-story venue called the Bazaar. And this is where the opinions just completely split down the middle. And what's so wild is that both reviewers are talking about the exact same space. One person sees this vibrant, revolutionary hub that's just buzzing with activity and festivals. The other person sees a chaotic, uncomfortably crowded market that's lost all the charm that Eden had. It's just a perfect example of how one person's bustling is another person's total chaos. Now, beyond the Bazaar, other changes also got some mixed reactions. I mean, pretty much everyone agreed the new adults-only arcade, the attic, was a home run. Awesome idea. But the new spa? People felt the hydrotherapy pool was, and I quote, tiny. And one critic, a real Celebrity fan, pointed out what they called a noticeable decline in the ship's famous art collection, which is a huge part of that premium feel. All right, next up, let's talk about maybe the most important part of any cruise for a lot of us, the food. So Xcel rolled out 2 brand new high-end specialty restaurants, Mosaic and Bora, and the promise was these incredible next-level dining experiences. But those experiences come with a pretty hefty price tag. We're talking $110 a person for dinner at Mosaic, $80 for Bora. This price point is what led that more critical reviewer to wonder if the ship was starting to care more about revenue than about real culinary creativity. So, was it worth it? And here we go again. The opinions are just polar opposites. The rave review? They said the food was fantastic, period. They even called the fish at Bora the best they've ever had on a ship. The critical take? That same $80 meal lacked flavor, and the $110 Mosaic dinner was just meh, not memorable. And the irony is, for that reviewer, the best new food spot was Spice, a complimentary grab-and-go place. Okay, moving on to entertainment. Celebrity really did go all in here. They brought in 3 brand new shows for the main theater and created a bunch of new parties designed specifically for those new spaces, like the Bazaar. And hey, look at this. We finally have something they agree on. Both sides said the new main stage show, Between Takes, was a total triumph. A real hit. But remember those ambitious new parties in the Bazaar? Well, they were apparently full of energy, but they were hurt by the exact same problem, overcrowding. The venue was just too cramped for people to really enjoy the show. Now, all of these changes, the good, the bad, the crowded, they come with a cost. And the hype around a brand new ship has a very direct impact on the price you pay, which is something a couple planning their honeymoon found out the hard way over on Reddit. So they were watching this cruise, and they saw the price for just a basic inside cabin jump from $1,300 to $2,100 per person. That's an $800 price hike in just a few weeks. So what in the world is going on here? Well, as other people in the comments quickly explained, it's just classic supply and demand. The newest, shiniest ship in the fleet is always going to be the most expensive. Cruise lines use what's called dynamic pricing, so as the hype builds and people book rooms, the price for whatever's left just goes up and up. And the consensus from the community was pretty clear, maybe a little brutal. If you see a price you like on a brand new ship, you just have to book it right then. Waiting almost never works out because those prices, they pretty much only go one way, and it's not down. So let's pull all of this together and look at the final verdicts from our two main sources, because this is really where you see just how different their experiences were. This chart, I think, gets right to the heart of the whole issue. This is the breakdown from the critical review. And look, service gets a nearly perfect 4.8 out of 5. The crew is amazing, which is classic Celebrity. But the core parts of the vacation, the food, the entertainment, the ship itself, they all scored way lower, and that dragged the whole average down. And that leads us right here to these final scores. It's just so stark. You've got a perfect 5 out of 5 on one side, calling the ship the future of the company, and on the other, a 3.7 out of 5, calling it a step backward, and get this, actually recommending that people go sail on its slightly older sister ship, the Ascent, for a better, more complete experience. So it really leaves us with one last question, and this one's for you. When you're spending your hard-earned money on a premium cruise, what do you value more? Is it the thrill of something brand new, something cutting edge, even if it has a few kinks to work out? Or is it the guarantee of a perfectly polished, flawlessly executed experience? Your answer to that question will probably tell you everything you need to know about whether the Celebrity Xcel is the right ship for you.